Thank you so much, Adelaide. Today we are joined by our musical guest, Wolf.
Thank you so much for coming on this morning, Wolf.
Of course. Thank you guys for having me.
So, what initially inspired you to start songwriting and creating music?
So, when I was in high school, that's really when I started writing. I grew up a very, very shy kid. I ate lunch alone, that kind of vibe. And I would always eat in the music room because I just didn't have the guts to do it in the cafeteria. And that's where my music teacher was. And even though I was extremely shy, like I still loved performing. But for my senior showcase, my teacher basically said, if I want to participate, it has to be an original song. And immediately I was mortified, embarrassed. Like when you're a shy kid, you just feel like no one cares about what you have to say. But whatever, like I wanted to perform. So I went home, wrote the song, and it just became a very obvious way for me to communicate with people while still being able to keep distance. So then I just kept writing. Like I didn't stop after that.
Yeah, no, I mean, you personally, I find music is a great way to express like what you're feeling and what you're trying to say. So you mentioned
Exactly.
your high school teacher. Like what? So obviously your high school teacher inspired you to start making music, but what else? What else in general? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was always a big hip hop rap fan just because being able to captivate a whole audience without melody really intrigued me. Like, it's such a lyrically driven genre that it inspired me to completely focus everything on the lyrics and just try and get out exactly what I wanted to say. So that was a big inspiration.
Your stage name is Wolf. What inspired that?
Yeah, so my real name is Julia, my stage name is Wolf. That has to do with my sister. So I have a younger sister, she's 22. And growing up, she had this imaginary pet wolf, which was like really weird already for an imaginary pet. And at night, she would always say good night to me and then good night to the wolf. And even to this day, however many years later, we keep that routine up just out of habit. And so when I was thinking of a name, I was like trying to think of something that had a little meaning as well. And my sister is my whole world. So yeah, I picked that.
No, Wolf is a great name. It's such a like
Yeah.
striking. I would name myself Wolf if I had a chance to do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
So Wolf is great, especially for social media. It like catches your attention. So I was looking. Me and Danielle were both stalking you, and you were like popping on social media.
Thank
So
you.
how has that helped you so far, and how do you get your music out there with your presence?
Yeah, it took me a really long time to get comfortable speaking to people via social media as you would a friend. Like, it was just hard for me to talk in general, but I had to make a decision. I figured social media is an amazing way to connect with a whole new audience that I wouldn't, when I'm just playing gigs around here. And yeah, I just decided like I'm just going to be myself. I don't care what other people think. And I just started talking and doing like these Sunday confession things and just posting like freestyles, just posting whatever, anything music related, anything personality
Yeah, no,
related.
that's what I liked about your social media because you have a big social like Instagram following, but yet you're also very
Yeah.
like still a person, like
Yeah.
you're not
Okay.
like posting these like weird, music labels, things like that.
Right,
It's
it's
very
very
still you.
personal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And we also noticed that you created a brand called Girls in Purgatory. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I've been trying to make a clothing line as opposed to just merch. Like I wanted something that could have its own little world. And I just picked Girls in Purgatory because a lot of the time I feel like I'm in some sort of purgatory state when I just can't decide what the right thing to do is, like whether I put my feelings first or have to hurt someone else. Like I'm always thinking about what other people will feel or be affected by my decisions. So that's why I picked that name. And yeah, I'm excited to expand it, but making clothing is a new territory for me. So it's a work in progress.
Wow. So I wanted to ask you, how would you describe your sound for your music?
I would say it's definitely lyrically driven, but sonically, like I love the 808s. I love the trap drums. So I'm just trying to blend those hip hop influences with like pretty melodic sounds, you know, because I'm no rapper yet. So I'm just like, yeah, I love a pretty melody as well.
So, speaking of that, later in the show, you're performing your newest song, Hydra. Can you tell us a little bit about it and what you want listeners to know?
Definitely. Hydra, first of all, if anyone doesn't know, in Greek mythology, it's that creature with 9 heads. And if you cut one off, 2 more grow back. And I love Greek mythology. So when I was reading about that, it just made sense to apply it to my own life. I was like in a relationship that I felt this person was just constantly trying to tear me down, and it just was not going to end the way that he thought it was. I was only going to come back stronger. And I felt like the Hydra really represented that well, that feeling, you know?
Yeah. Wow. Again, music expressing yourself.
Right, yeah.
The theme.
Yeah.
So do you have any new songs or projects in the works?
Oh my gosh, I have so many. And I
wow.
like just came back from LA. My thing is, I have a ton of music on the way, but I do believe in patience, and like there's a bigger reward in waiting sometimes, I feel, even though I'm so tempted to just drop everything. Um, yeah, but I've got a ton on the way, and like definitely an album soon.
Wow. You're definitely playing your cards right, I think.
Yeah, that's very exciting. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course, of course. Thank you guys so much for having me. This was awesome.
Awesome.
When we come back, Wolf is performing her newest song, Hydra.
Stay with us.